Hello Gemini, and welcome to your Lunar Cycle Insight video that will move from the new moon in your sign to the first eclipse of eclipse season, the Cancer new moon solar eclipse on the 13th of July. This is a very busy lunar cycle with 3 planetary stations and of course Mars retrograde. Mars is big and strong and bright in the sky at this moment, and he's going to be continuing to be that way in the weeks leading up to his retrograde period. So there's a lot of fiery, Martian, volcanic, Shakti energy rising for us all at the moment. And as it's your month, the spotlight is on you, Gemini, from now up until the summer solstice when the sun moves into Cancer on the 21st of June. So we begin this lunar cycle with a new moon in your sign. Each year, each sign will get a new moon. Lady Luna will rebirth herself in the constellation that your sun sign is in. And as she dies to her old self and is reborn, so do you get an opportunity to do the same, Gemini. So this is your time to imprint upon the cosmos what you wish to call forward for the next 12-month cycle, for your next solar return. What story are you going to tell yourself, Gemini? This is time for you to utilize your gift, your innate capacity for words and sound and voice, to write, to speak, to sing your intentions to the universe. Let it be known what you wish to create over the next 12-month cycle. What needs to be let go of, and what are you calling forth? At the time of this new moon, your ruling planet and the ruler of the new moon, Mercury, the messenger god, is going to be moving into the sign of Cancer, into your second house. This is perhaps an uncomfortable place for Mercury, who is very logical, very analytical, very attuned to the right side of the brain, and Cancer is the sign of intuition, of deep emotion, the sign of the great feminine mother. So Mercury, as the new moon rises, will be coming into a square alignment with Chiron, the wounded healer, in your 11th house. And this energy can really ask you to look at the deeper meaning behind the words that you are speaking. What is going on for you emotionally, Gemini, underneath all of the charm and the wit and the banter and the social activity? What are your deep feelings? What is it that your soul needs to express? What visions are you reaching for, Gemini? Are you feeling valued? Are you feeling appreciated? Are you feeling like you can be yourself in your social circle, in particular with Chiron in the 11th? Are you feeling like your deeper wisdom is being heard? So this can be a time of self-reflection in amongst the busyness, as Venus, the love goddess, also shifts signs around the time of this new moon. As you can see, this is a really Gemini lunation. Lots of change, lots of busyness going on surrounding it. So Venus goes into Leo and into your 3rd house as the new moon rises. And this can amplify your need to socialize, your need to connect, your need to share your thoughts, share your wisdom with like-minded souls. This is a time where you may feel more drawn to speaking your authentic needs. Leo is the sign of creative self-expression, so perhaps if you are feeling unable to share your words with people, unable to share your deepest feelings, perhaps you could write, you could paint, you could dance, you could express them in a Leonine way. Venus is going to be creating a square to Uranus in your 12th house. So this can really be asking you to look at the divine inspiration that is on offer to you at this time. The 12th house is the house where we most deeply connect to God, to Goddess, to Source. And the 3rd house, as I've said, is the throat chakra, is communication. So perhaps there are some insights, some intuitions. Perhaps there's something unique and individual that is coming through you at this time, Gemini, that only you can share. So just be aware of the dreams, of the visions, of the intuitive nudges that are coming up, and also be aware of any self-sabotaging belief systems, behavior patterns that may need to be released at this time as well, Gemini. As the month unfolds, we are going to be having Neptune stationing retrograde, and that's going to be happening for you in your 10th house. It's going to be happening on the 17th of June. Neptune is the energy of dissolution, of release. Neptune washes us clean of all that is unlike love. So this could be a time where you are feeling a little bit less driven to put yourself out there career-wise. This could be a time of internal creativity, of realigning what you're offering the world with unconditional love. Neptune is the energy of self-sacrifice. It's the energy of service. So this could be a good time to look at how much you're giving and how aligned your work is with the energy of true unconditional love and service. Perhaps some of you might need to reconnect with that source of divine inspiration and love in your career. Perhaps some of you may need to draw some boundaries in this area. If you've been overgiving, if you've been pouring all of your time and energy into creating and building something in your career and you're feeling depleted. So things can be a little bit unclear career and vocation wise this month for you, but just tune into the energy of Neptune and allow yourself to surrender. If fears, if worries are coming up, allow them to move through you. Embrace every emotion that is rising. Is going to be a key to dealing with the energies of this month for you, Gemini, as the activations continue, as we dive further into this lunar cycle. So on the 19th of June, Venus in Leo in your 3rd house that I've just discussed is going to be conjuncting the North Node, the point of evolution, and opposing Mars in your 9th house, where he's going to go retrograde in a few days' time on the 25th. And he is still very close to the South Node. So this is a time when you are being asked to rewire your old conditioning, to let go of any outdated beliefs, patterns, mental concepts, and come into expressing yourself in that very authentic Leo way. The 9th house is very much connected with our spiritual teaching and learning. So perhaps those new ideas that are coming through you are now asking to be shared with the rest of the world. The key to your evolution at this time is sharing your beautiful creations, your beautiful soul self with others. And as you do that, you connect the right people, the right opportunities to you. This can be an intense month of activity, personally and online, as we reach the solstice point on the 22nd and the 21st of June. So at this point, the energy starts to shift. Here in the southern hemisphere, we are experiencing the summer solstice, and from this moment on, the nights will slowly become darker. If you are in the southern hemisphere, you are experiencing the rebirth of the light, and the nights will start to become shorter as more light pours into your world. Wherever we are, it's a huge energy shift, and particularly for you, Gemini, because it marks the end of your season, marks the end of the soul star in your sign, and the sun moves into Cancer, the sign of the ever nurturing, ever giving great mother. And this is going to be moving through your second house of value, of self-worth, of resources. So this is the time of the year where you really start to tune into your own emotional needs. What are you emotionally hungry for, Gemini? Where do you need to nurture your dreams? Where do you need to nourish and fertilize the soil of new growth, of new life, of new abundance in your world? Where do you need to tend to the practical details of your life? What are you building at this time, Gemini? And can you hold it in that unconditional love until it can grow and blossom and reach fruition? This can also be a time where we are more focused on financial issues, physical safety and security as well. So it's a time of kind of coming back into the emotions after the busyness, the electrifying energy of your season and your new moon. So you're coming back home to yourself at this point of the month, Gemini. Mars officially begins his retrograde period in your 9th house on the 25th of June. So you will have been feeling him here. He's been here for a little while already. And this can be a very liberating, freedom seeking energy, Gemini. You might have felt the call to travel, to expand your horizons, to expand your mind, to expand your thinking, expand your teaching and learning, reworking your belief systems. As I said at the beginning, with Mars conjunct the South Node, we're all in the whichever house he's transiting in our birth chart, we are letting go of what no longer serves. And for you, this can be old ideologies, old belief systems, old patterns, old desperate longings for freedom that can sometimes come with your sign and be quite amplified by this energy over the summer, Gemini. So for you, you may be rewiring your mental patterning. This is the house of the birth chart where we can cling to what we feel is true for us, and perhaps what has been true for us for a very, very long time. But Mars retrograde here is going to be asking us to move beyond what we thought was true, to liberate ourselves so we can open our mind to new concepts, new ideas, new ways of being and doing things, new ways of connecting and communicating and sharing the wisdom that we hold. On a practical level, this can be a time of you having to put more effort into any kind of study or course or workshop that you are involved in. You know, this can be something that can take a lot of your energy at this time. So whatever we are engaging in this summer, it's really important that it is aligned with our unique individual truth. And this is a time of you really rediscovering what is that truth for you, Gemini, as Mars retrogrades here from now until late August. So following on from Mars's station, we have a full moon in Capricorn on the 28th of June. And this moon is going to be conjunct its own ruler. It's going to be conjunct Saturn in Capricorn. And Saturn has been transiting your 8th house, Gemini, since winter solstice last year, since the 21st of December last year, when he moved into his own sign for the first time in 30 years. So this full moon for all of us will be highlighting how far we have come learning the lessons of Saturn in the past 6 months. And as we know, Saturn is a strict teacher, perhaps the strictest in the cosmos. So wherever he is transiting, we are putting in extra work, extra effort, extra energy. And for you, he's been moving through that 8th house, the Scorpio house, the darkest part of the birth chart, the space of death, of shedding, of letting go before we can embrace rebirth. So Saturn here can be a very challenging transit, and it's been really asking you to dive into all of your fears, all of your subconscious darkness. It's really been calling you back into the past, calling you into the darkest recesses of your psyche to clear, to heal, to rebirth, and to renew. So this can be one of the heaviest places for Saturn. So the full moon's going to illuminate how far you have come with this work, Gemini, and illuminating also how far you have come learning how to merge with another and how to create union in your life. This is the house of intimacy, the house of soul bonding, and you being such a freedom loving sign, this can be an extra challenging transit for you. So it's time to review and reevaluate how far you have come in learning to embrace your shadow self, in learning to work through these fears, because Saturn will be churning them up and he will be expecting you to work through them with tenacity and integrity. So this moon can really highlight that. So around this time you might find, more healing, more clearing, more purging starts to happen for you. So just be aware of that, Gemini, and be really gentle with yourself. On the 9th of July, Venus is going to leave Leo in your 3rd house, where she's been teaching you those lessons of authentic self-expression. She's going to come into your 4th house, into the sign of Virgo. So this can be a time where you feel drawn to turning within. Perhaps you'll make some changes in your own home, perhaps on a physical level you'll start to want to Venusify or beautify your own living space. And it can also be a time where you really long for deep connection with family members. It can be a time when you seek to give yourself that love and that nurturing that you've been craving all month. It can be a time of devoting yourself to self-healing and to self-love. On the 10th of July, Jupiter is going to resume direct motion. Jupiter has been retrograde in your 6th house of health, of healing, of holistics since March this year, and he has been calling you deep within your body, deep within the day-to-day structures of your life, to help you to detoxify, to declutter, to purge all that isn't serving you. So perhaps there have been, ongoing health issues. Perhaps your body has been giving you messages around what needs to be released. Perhaps there has been some mental health imbalances, you know, extra anxiety or feelings of depression or unworthiness, self-criticism. This can all come up with sixth house transits. Perhaps there has been a deep need to kind of purge yourself of anything which is weighing you down or making you feel heavy. Perhaps there's been changes to your work life. The sixth house rules our daily work, our daily expressions of service and devotion. So perhaps there's been changes that need to be made there over the past few months. Or perhaps, you know, you have been called into deeper levels of service. Perhaps you've been learning new healing modalities. Perhaps you've been transforming yourself physically in some way. This is a transit that can play out on multiple levels. So if any of those areas of your life have been affected, as Jupiter begins to station around the 10th of July, they can be amplified for a short time. As he picks up speed, the energy will start to settle and unwind, and you can begin to reap the rewards of the hard work that you've been putting into those areas of your life. So around that time there may be an even bigger urge to kind of declutter, to shed, to let go, to clear out your diet, to purify yourself and your surroundings, to make some changes in structure to the work you're doing in the world. So shortly after Jupiter stations, we are heading into eclipse season. And the first eclipse that we will be experiencing will be in the sign of Cancer, giving us a little bit of a taste of what we can all expect when the nodes shift signs later this year. They're currently in Leo and Aquarius, but this eclipse is going to fall in the sign of Cancer, in that second house that we talked about a little bit earlier. So this is a time of rebirthing and renewal around your physical security, your physical comfort, your physical needs for love and care and nurturing. So this can really highlight where you have been perhaps over-giving, over-responsible for other people, where you haven't been allowing yourself to receive from the universe. You know, Taurus is the sign of physical, tangible abundance, financial assistance, support. Cancer is the sign of receiving the great flowing mother of water, the receptive energy of the universe. So where, Gemini, have you not been allowing yourself to receive on a material level, on an emotional level? Do you believe that you deserve to receive all of the goodness that the universe has to offer you? There will be some beautiful energy surrounding this eclipse. There will be a water trine and an earth trine forming. So this will really take you deep into practically applying the healing insights and wisdom that have been coming through for you this month. This is a time of grounding, of nurturing, of seeding the new, as we begin this month with a new moon in your sign, and then we move into the water and earth energy. So this is a time of really understanding your own motivations, your own needs, your own psychological blockages and barriers, your own need for detoxification on all levels. And the card I pick for you, Gemini, is the Temple of Black Obsidian, and that is from the Isis Oracle by Alana Fairchild. So this card is perfect, particularly with the 8th house energies that I've been talking about. The eclipse that I just mentioned on the 13th of July will also oppose Pluto in your 8th house, activating that energy that I discussed talking about the Capricorn full moon as well. So obsidian is always a crystal that I associate with the 8th house, with Scorpio energy, because it is a stone of true self-reflection. Nothing can hide from obsidian. It will reflect back to you all of your fears, all of your shadows. And this is the work that you are currently doing during this Saturn cycle, which of course lasts much longer than this lunar cycle. You know, Saturn's going to be there for around 2.5 years. So this is a reminder that we have to feel in order to heal. You are a sign, Gemini, that is quicksilver, that is light, that is fast, and you're not so used to these heavier energies. So this is a time of you really learning how to embrace the higher aspect of your nature, which is the understanding of duality. There is light and dark in everything. We live in a universe of polarity. So we don't need to be afraid of those deeper spaces. We don't need to be afraid of looking at our wounds. We don't have to be afraid of not feeling good and light and happy all of the time. In fact, we would never grow if we didn't enter that chamber of obsidian. We would never grow if we did not spend some time in the darkness. So just be aware of that, Gemini, that this month is going to require some more deep soul diving, and be gentle, be accepting with yourself. Give yourself that space, that safe cocoon, that's a safe womb space to rest in as this energy rises up, as we collectively go through the next portal of evolution. So thank you, Gemini, so much for listening to this video, and I hope it serves you. If you wish to connect with me further, you can join my Facebook page or group. The links are below this video. I'm sending you so much love.